Hey everybody, how are you guys doing? I hope everybody's having a great day and good growing season. Tomatoes and peppers, vegetables, whatever that is that you're growing. Um, what we talk about today, we're going to talk about brewing a compost tea. Brewing a compost tea is you could use it as a foliar spray, or you could just feed it to the roots. Um, what we're going to do is we're just going to go over some of the ingredients and how we're going to prep the compost tea and all that. So basically what we have is one of the main reasons sometimes the compost tea don't work, or some people says it doesn't work, is because people might forget, or you might forget that if you get in tap water, it comes with chlorine or some other additives that the city or the county or the town puts in it to keep the water clean. Now that chlorine, if you don't dechlorinate the water, it will kill all the good bacteria and all the good microbes that you're gonna generate from your worm castings or your compost. So what we did is that there's a few more videos online on how to dechlorinate the water. You could either use a filter, leave it outside for 24 hours, and so what we there's different ways that you guys can do it. What I did is for this video is 24 hours prior to make this video, I put my water, about 4.5 gallons of water, this bucket. It's a 5-gallon bucket, and I put some air stones, and this is what we're gonna need to brew the tea. It's gonna be an air pump that I got at my local hardware store. And it don't have to be very expensive. It's just an air pump with 2 lines, 2 air hoses, to the stones, air stones, and they have a 2-way valve, so you don't get your water going back into your pump. So these are 2 directional valves, just 1-way check valves. We're going to need I got these at a hardware store. What it is a paint strainer for 1 gallon, and I also have a little zip tie. So this was only about like $2 something for a pack of 2. So or you could probably find them cheaper online. I just happened to be at that store at that moment. I just picked them up from there, and I got a little twisty tie here for that. And then we also have our molasses. We're gonna use about 2 tablespoons of molasses. We got our fish mulch and bat guano. I got about 2 tablespoons. I got about a cup. This is a 16-ounce cup of worm castings, and about 2 tablespoons of bat guano. The ingredients, you guys could try different ingredients and brew your own tea you need, depending on your needs or depending on how it works out for you. When we brew our tea, we're gonna leave it for 24 hours before we use it, and then we gotta use them within 12 hours. I leave my bucket. After 12 hours, you just start losing. Your good microbes and stuff like that. Bacteria starts dying and things like that. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna prep it today, and tomorrow we'll come back and finish this video and show you guys how it looks and how we're gonna actually put it on the plants. How we're gonna do a foliar spray, and then whatever you got left, you could rather put it on your rest of the plants in the garden, on your root zone. So basically what we're going to do is first I'll probably just do my molasses. Molasses is pretty thick stuff, and all it is just to feed the bacteria and to generate more bacteria in there. So probably I think it's a lot easier if you just measure it out of the container. I just put it on these cups just so it'll be easier and faster for me to show in the video. So give it a little mix in here. So once you got your molasses in there, and this leaves up to his name, it's really thick stuff. So what I do is I just give it a stir. Make sure we get it all stirred up on the water. Make sure all the water gets some of that sugar. Make sure you kind of dissolve it pretty good. Otherwise, if you don't do this, if you don't mix it up like that, it tends to settle down at the bottom of the bucket, and then you might not give you the same results. It might vary on your results on the compost tea. Well, now that it's well and mixed, I'm gonna add my fish mulch of fish fertilizer or fish emulsion, whatever you guys want to call it, with a little bit of one liquid in there, or one, I would say. You could try kelp emulsion. You could try different things. The main thing is getting your worm castings. That's the main ingredient. Worm castings and or compost, whichever kind of compost you guys want to use. So once I have that, I'm gonna give it another stir. Make sure we're stirring it up right. And now we're going to drop our worm castings. If you don't have worm castings, you could just the compost you're working with at home. Just make sure there's well compost. Worm castings are very inexpensive. I recommend you guys to get in some at your local hydroponic store or even your garden center, or pretty much everybody carries these now. And I'm using some bat one or bat castings. There we go. So all that goes into the little bag in here. What it is, just like a little tea bag. That's what it is. I use my little zip tie here to get it all nice and tight. Make sure nothing goes anywhere. Okay. Now that it's tight, I use my little twisty tie. Just so I could take it out when everything's done. Twisty tie, and I'm going to tighten it up over the little metal right here. Just give it a little stir, make sure everything goes everywhere. And I'll leave this container in a cool place where it's not hot or not cold. Well, at least I would try to keep it away from the direct sunlight or the heat. I'm just leaving it here in my garage for today. And you'll notice right away that the worm castings and the molasses and everything else will turn to water in the dark color. If everything works out right, you can get a close up in here. If everything works out right, we're going to start seeing some of the foam starting to form in here. And within 24 hours, we should be ready to use. So we'll come back tomorrow and show you guys how it looks and how we're going to do as a foliar spray. And we're going to apply it to the root zone. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Okay, let's take a look at the composting. How's it going? It's been about 12 hours. About 12 hours since we started this process, and it looks like it's ready to roll. So we're just going to put in a 1 gallon sprayer, and we're going to do some foliar spray with it. Alright. Hey guys, welcome back. So we basically have this thing brewing for about 24 hours now. I gave it a stir, but you guys can tell about the foam is you have formed. We had a little bit more, but I stirred the can, and you could actually see what's happening inside the water. It's all those microbes and all the bacteria growing in there. Let's see if you can, hopefully you can get a good shot right there. So we have a little worm castings and these little mash strainer. You can remove it. Just like a little twisty tie, we want to remove this bag. You could actually put these on out on your grow area. Just spray it out, or you can put it on your compost pile. So basically, you just weigh into it, just drains out, and then you can take it out. And then what I'll do, you could use the compost. The compost tea in 2 different ways. You could either use it as a foliar spray, for you with your sprayer. What I recommend for you guys to do is just get one of these little strainers. I got these ones at the hardware store. I think they come in a pack of 4, and that's what I will use. So once this is done, I'm gonna give it a stir, another stir to make sure everything is all mixed properly, and the pump is still running, still bubbling. Within about 24 hours. Once you turn your pump off, you really want to use this Compost Tea within, I want to say within 5 hours. And I would, if you're gonna use it as a foliar spray, if you're gonna use it as a foliar spray, you're gonna spray it with the little 1 gallon sprayer or 2 gallon sprayer, depending on how many plants you have and how much you're gonna spray. I would do it late in the afternoon when the sun is already down. So that way, you won't have a chance to where you say that it's going to burn your plants or you burn the leaves in the plants. So and it also is not going to dissipate from the top of the leaves or the surface of the leaves. It's going to last, and the plants are going to actually take all the nutrients and all the good stuff in. So what I'll do is probably just get a cup. You could use whatever you have in hand. I'll just get a cup in here, hold the strainer, and just pour it all in there. And a lot of the big pieces, a lot of the big particles are going to be filtrated with this strainer. That way it doesn't plug up your nozzle on your sprayer. Oh, by the way, this thing doesn't have a bad smell. You can't even hardly smell anything. It kind of smells like earth kind of thing. Or, it doesn't really have a bad smell. If you get a smell in your compost, that means something went bad. You might want to just discard that batch and start a new one and see what went wrong. Maybe the pump went off overnight, or something couldn't happen, or maybe I don't know, for different circumstances could do it. But let's see, let's fill this up. Dropping some there around. Give it a little stir. Make sure we get all this down. Now, if you don't want to use it as a foliar spray, what you can do is you could just get your cup, whatever you have, whatever container you have, take your 5 gallon bucket out there, or maybe just take a partial, maybe 1 gallon or so, so it won't be too heavy for you to carry it out there. See, right now the strainer is kind of plugged up, so I gotta shake it up in here. Shake it. There we go. So, let me just continue. And you could just get maybe about a half a cup, depending on the size of the container where your plant it's growing. Maybe about a half a cup, and just pour it on the base of the plant, around the base of the plant, probably about a couple inches away or so. So you don't actually I mean, it could be right next to the stem. It don't really matter. But yeah, you could use it either as a foliar spray, or you could just pour it on your soil in your plant. I'm losing some over there in the ground. I sprayed some of my shoes with it, but it's alright. heavy particles in here. That's about a gallon right there, so that's probably about as much as I'm going to need. I know I did about 4.5 gallons just as a just demonstration. It's a lot easier. Just fill up the 3/4 of the 5-gallon bucket instead of just doing half or 1 or 2. So once that is done, what I'll do is just put my top back piece on, and it should be ready to use. And like I say, I would just, I'm going to use it as a foliar spray. I'll use it late in the afternoon, and that's when the plants actually take most of the nutrients in. That's I think it'd be more helpful for you if you could spray it late in the afternoon. You take less chances on the sun, burning your plant with the tea on the foliage. So that's it, guys. If you guys like and subscribe to the channel, and let's grow some vegetables.